Good Friday, everybody. Alan Weber from the Mayor's Office on Fiesta Friday, wearing my mask, as you should this weekend. I think the weather's going to be beautiful. It's going to warm up. We're going to be outside, but still, wear your face covering, use hand sanitizer, practice social distancing. I'm looking at the numbers of our new cases. We were doing great, 2, 4, and then yesterday we hit 11. It's hard to know what the pattern means. It does seem to be that we're hovering around the 6 cases on a weekly, average of 6 cases on a weekly basis. We want to get it down below 4, and then we'll really be in a position to reopen with strength and with confidence. We need the economy to come back. We need people to get those paychecks to put food on the table. We're headed into the September, October, November months. The fall is coming. Please, please, please practice good COVID prevention. It's really essential. If you want to see a great video of Carlos Medina bringing it home, go to Facebook or YouTube and check out Carlos and the Santa Fe Promise. It's a reminder that we're all in this together, and we're following the governor's lead. She continues to do a great job. Let's follow. Excuse me. It is Fiesta Friday, and a great big thank you to the Fiesta Council, to the Caballeros, to all of the people in Santa Fe who make this fiesta happen year after year after year for hundreds of years. The longest running continuous celebration in our country's history. I was very honored and humbled this morning to be at the cathedral for the Pregón Mass and to read in Spanish the original proclamation. It was a very different fiesta Mass in that everyone was very careful. The Archbishop wore his mask. Father Martinez wore his mask. We were all very aware that this year is very different. The spirit is still strong. The community is still united. The history is still something to remember. But COVID-19 changes it, makes it more, some ways more important. It makes it more meaningful, more thoughtful. I think every part of the service was really brought home with the significance that COVID-19 didn't stop this, and it is an ongoing tradition that we all observe and we all reflect on. Similarly, this morning, there was a 9/11 ceremony over at Fire Station 1. Again, a somber remembrance of 9/11 and the firefighters, the first responders, police, the Port Authority people in New York, the men and women who lost their lives on airplanes or in the Twin Towers. I think those of us who were older remember exactly where we were when we learned about the attack on the Twin Towers and on the Pentagon and the planes that were hijacked, and the men and women who lost their lives either responding, going into those buildings to try to save people, or who are on those planes. And so the fire department from the city and the county as participants and observers with bagpipes and bells remembered 9/11, and we will all remember 9/11 and think about the men and women who lost their lives and their families who continue to feel the impact of that attack. On a somewhat more happy note, last night there was a great fundraiser that we all had a chance to play a version of Jeopardy. I was happy to be on a team with members of the City Council, Councilors Cassett Sanchez, Villarreal, and Abeta, Fortunately, they were brilliant and knew the answers, and I just tag teamed along. But the whole point was to raise money for LifeLink, and again, our firefighters won. They copped the best score, so tip of the hat to them. I think it's still possible, if you're interested in contributing to the LifeLink, giving them some support. Whether you witnessed the epic Jeopardy competition or you just want to pitch in, it's really a good cause. So tip of the hat to the LifeLink folks and the firefighters who won and the other folks who played Jeopardy. I learned all kinds of things that I didn't know just by tuning into last night's game. Census. The census is serious. A big article in the paper this morning saying New Mexico continues to lag. We only have a 56% response to the census. That means we will be surrendering millions of dollars that should be coming here to help us meet our local needs. Please, please fill out the census. It takes 5 minutes. It's anonymous. It's safe, and it brings money back home. If you're unsure how to do it, my 2020 census is the way to go. Just look it up on the web. I think there are just a few questions you need to answer. How many people are in your household? Things like that. You don't have to answer questions about legal status. You just have to register that you are present. You are in this community. Everybody's voice counts. Similarly, if you haven't registered to vote or you want to get an absentee ballot, now is the time to start making your plan for how you're going to vote in this election. It is one of the most important elections we'll ever be a part of. It's up and down the ballot from the White House all the way to local and community races, state races. It's critical that we all participate. It is the gift of democracy. It is the responsibility of all of us to vote. If you're not registered, please do so. If you're registered but you're not sure whether you're going to try to make it to a polling place or you're going to go absentee ballot, make that decision and get a plan. Don't get left out. This is too important of an election. Something else coming up very important is a gun buyback program. Tomorrow from 10 to noon at the police department, 2515 Camino Entrada. We're doing this with the great help, the leadership of the New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence, Miranda Viscoli leading the charge. There'll be ways to get coupons and cards for turning in a gun. You can get a gun lock if you want to make sure that nobody in your family accidentally pulls the trigger. There are trigger locks that you can pick up for free. Again, tomorrow morning, 10 to 12, 2515 Camino Entrada. A big shout out to the governor, who deserves a lot of credit for the job she's doing and also for the recognition she's getting nationally. She made a presentation to the Congress trying to get money for state and local governments. The Senate in the United States Congress continues to block local aid. The House has passed a bill. Our governor spoke on behalf of state and local aid to respond to the economic impacts of COVID-19. And then we learned she is one of 5 people selected to help with Vice President Biden's transition team. Should he be elected president, she'll be sitting at the table representing the country, but also bringing to bear her knowledge of New Mexico and our community needs. So she continues to distinguish herself and bring real honor to New Mexico, and we should all just give her a big thank you for that hard work. She's not only right here at home giving us guidance and leadership, but now it's being recognized on the national scene. So congratulations to the governor for that. Congratulations also to a young man named Dylan Abeta. You heard me talk about his dad a minute ago, who was the leading point scorer for the mayor council member team last night on Jeopardy. Councilor Abeyta was far and away the best Jeopardy player on our team. Well, Dylan Abeyta has just finished a remarkable video project about basketball and Santa Fe. It is a two-part documentary. It premieres tomorrow on Sports Primo on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and Google Sports Primo. You'll find it. I think it starts off, the first episode is tomorrow night, and you should absolutely tune in. It's all about local sports. It's very emotional. It's very powerful, but it's also a celebration. And Dylan has done a great job. He's got pretty good family connections in the sports video community, and I'm sure that there's a great team there to make this documentary really sing. So check it out. It's local, and it's also from the heart, and it really speaks about Santa Fe. That's really kind of about it for today. There's a lot going on. There's one other serious message I want to leave you with. And it's, again, kind of somber, but it's important. I was on a call yesterday with mayors from around New Mexico. Pretty much every Thursday there's a roundup of mayors from communities large and small across the state talking to the governor's chief of staff. And several mayors took the opportunity to raise a subject that's related to COVID-19, but not about money. It's not about opening. It's about the emotional impacts of COVID-19. It turns out that in many cities around New Mexico, the fall has arrived, and yet school and sports and extracurricular activities for our young people really aren't available. And in cities, small and large, there is a social and emotional cost. One mayor reported a number of suicides in his city. Another mayor talked about the spike in domestic violence cases at home and spousal abuse issues. I think it's worth taking a minute and not just talking about daily events, how we're doing with the numbers on COVID cases, but to reflect on mental health. Mental health is something that rarely gets talked about. It's still something that unfortunately has a kind of a stigma in too many places. And yet we all know that nothing is more essential to our lives than to take care of our emotions, our mental health, not to fall prey to medications that are bad for us, whether it's alcohol or drugs or other forms of addiction that we think we're medicating ourselves, but in fact we're making ourselves sicker. So this is a request from me to you. If you're not feeling well, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, get some help. We have resources in Santa Fe. We have community services that can help. We have the Connect program that the city and the county are collaborating on to provide direct support. If you're doing okay, but somebody in your family seems to be struggling, get them some help. If you know a friend who is struggling, ask them if they could use some help. This is a time for everybody who needs help to get it. It could be money, it could be stress, it could be a job, or it could be mental health. Whatever the symptom or the problem is, we all need to pull together. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's a lot right with asking for help before something gets serious. So, having heard mayors around the state talk about behavioral and mental health issues in their communities, I want to bring it to you today. There's a lot going on in our country and in our community. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of uncertainty. There are issues of health, financial well-being, family safety, security. There is a lot changing from what we're used to. And we need to ask for help when we need it. It's nothing to be afraid of, and frankly, it's nothing to be ashamed of. The resources are here. So if you need help, if you need support, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out. Go to our Connect program. Send an email to me. I'll plug you in. But make sure that before anything bad happens, if it's for you, a family member, or a friend, look for some help. Look for some assistance. Look for some guidance. We're all in this together. It's physical help. There's physical help with masks. There's physical help with support for job, money. You got to pay the rent. All kinds of ways of getting financial and physical help. But if you're not feeling good about yourself, that won't solve the problem. So start with self-help. And let's all look after each other. Let's take care of each other. Let's spend some time talking with each other about our feelings, about our emotions, about our stresses. And let's come through this together. Let's take care of each other in this time of real uncertainty, but great hope that we're making a difference, that the numbers are going down, the economy is coming back. We're beginning to see a new way forward where we'll be able to stabilize and then build back. So thank you for watching. Thanks for thinking about that last message. It's really important. We need to take care of each other. We are all in this together. Have a good fiesta. Have a safe fiesta. Many of the services from the cathedral are streaming online. You can watch and participate until I see you next week. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of our community. Let's all take care of Santa Fe together. I'll see you next week.